Welcome to Dan's Drum Clinics with Dan Schinder as your lovely host. Many styles, all levels, get results. Today's clinic is mixed tempo exercise for the drum kit.
Hi, I'm Dan Schinder. Thanks for joining me here on Dan's Drum Clinics. I'm here at Phoenix Drum Company in Arizona, where it's really hot. But so are these drums. These drums are so hot. I can't wait till my kit is done. And I'm not saying that because I'm getting a Phoenix Drum Company kit. I'm saying I'm getting a Phoenix Drum Company kit because they are so hot. Great finishes, cosmetically, aesthetically, they look great, but functionally, it all adds up because you've got this sleek, lugless hardware. The shells can be the shells. They're not encumbered with big, fat metal lugs and whatnot. You'll get a whole lesson on that when you watch the interview with Philip Gelb here at Phoenix Drum Company. But it's really the ghost port system that really helps make these drums sound so awesome. So, for now, we're going to go into a lesson that is really for all levels. Now, I try to do lessons that are cross-levelational. Kind of like cross-generational, but cross-levelational. So no matter what level you play at, I think that most of the things I'm going to bring to you, you can apply to not only your level of play, but your style of play. This one's really simple, and I'll give you some examples of how you can mix this lesson up, and then you can apply it to how it suits your style and your playing. It's called the mixed tempo exercise, and when I told Philip what the title of this one was going to be, he says, well, those are intentional mixed tempos, right? And yes, this time they are. Of course, you'll never really know, will you? You'll hear me do this with a simple, not beats, but more of a rudimental practice first. That's really all there is to it, but we're going to go through some other examples. So I just took a fun little exercise that I like to do, and as you see, I went through 3 different tempos, and the practice on your part isn't necessarily, the practice doesn't mean just doing something over and over and over. It means paying attention to what you're doing and how you can polish it and how you can sharpen it. I've been playing for 42 years as this is being recorded in July 2012, and there are things I know I can get better at. I know that there are big-time platinum album drummers that do the same thing. They actually sit down and practice. They take a lesson from time to time. They take time to reinvent themselves. So you may want to take some time to reinvent yourself at some point, depending on what level you are at. I'm going to do the same type of exercise now with some beats. That's a good example of a fun exercise and playing with different tempos. What I like to do is I like to do it without really having anything specific in mind. What I mean by that is, and this will help exercise the elasticity of your creativity. There's a nerve in your brain for creativity, and this increases that elasticity. And what I mean by that is when I'm playing one beat, I get a beat going, and then as I fall into that groove, I start thinking of what's the next beat going to be and how am I going to get there, meaning the fill in between. Do I want that fill to be the speed of the first beat I'm playing? Do I want it to be the speed of the second beat I'm going to play? Or do I want it to be the speed of the first beat and then retard it into the second beat? That's the example I'm going to give you right now, the last scenario. So there's an example of taking one speed and one beat, and the transition that takes you into and that's a faster speed in that scenario, and then the transition to go into the slower beat, you take the speed of the first beat, make that the speed of the fill, and then retard it into the slower beat. You can do just the opposite, which I'm going to show you now. This may seem like a bit of redundancy, but if you really watch this a few times and work it into your playing, it'll help your tempo, it'll really help your creativity and the sharpness of your fills, being able to go in and out of different beats. Even if they're the same tempo within the same song, it helps with your fills, your creativity, and polishing up your fill skills. Check it out. So that's kind of like the opposite concept. So take this lesson, watch it a few times, think of some of your favorite beats, morph them into different beats. You can take the same beat and do different tempos. You can take different beats and try them each at each different tempo, going back and forth. And then play with the fills and do different tempos. Make the first fill of the first beat match. Make the fill match the beat you're going into, and try the retardation of the fill from the faster to the slow, from the slow to the fast. I'll show you one more example of just kind of mixing it all up.
There you have it, a mixed tempo exercise. Don't let it get you all mixed up. Just have some fun. Thanks for joining me here on Dan's Drum